So as usual, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So that just opens our space and it brings in my lineage and my respect and reverence for my lineage. Um, so I thought, have you heard of Lao Tzu? Lao Tzu. I suggest you go and find out who he is. Amazing individual. It is said that when he was born, he was 84 years old, which was uncomfortable for his mother. But no, when they say he's 84 years old, meaning that he was a very wise young child. And so he wrote a book called Tai Chi Chang, I think it's called, which is the way, it's called the way of the Tao. The word is Tao, the way of the Tao. And this Taoist worldview, like you've heard of Zen, Taoist is like a kind of an offshoot related stuff of that. And they're very balanced. It's the yin and yang sign is to do with Lao Tzu. It's to do with that kind of philosophy. He says everything, so he obviously enlightened human being. And so they said to him, you've got to write your wisdom down. You have to write it down because you're such a wise man. And he refused for many years. Anyway, before his ultimate end, they persuaded him to write. And the first line he wrote was that everything that I write isn't right. Everything that I'm saying about existence cannot be said. Meaning, no matter what I say, it is still not enough. That was it. So no matter what I put down here, it's still not enough. So some of his great teachings can be illustrated in this really simple story. It is said that he and his neighbor used to go walk to the edge of the cliff and wait for the sun to rise on the other side of the valley. And as the sun rose, they would look at the sun, do what they needed to do, and come back. No one said anything to anyone. So one day his neighbor said to Lao Tzu, can I bring my brother-in-law? He loves sunrises. And he said, sure. No, actually didn't say anything. So this went on for a few weeks, and then the neighbor thought, well, he didn't say no, so I might as well take him. So they all went, all three of them stood at this cliff, watched this beautiful sunrise on the other side. And the neighbor's brother-in-law said, wow, beautiful. And they all walked back. Lao Tzu turned to his neighbor and said, don't bring your brother-in-law again. He said, why? He said, he talks too much. You understand? It's about appreciation, the moment of now. The moment you've described it, you've lost it. Yeah. So that's what it means. Everything that can be said cannot be said about the truth. Right? Everything that can be said. So Lao Tzu's worldview suggests and states all that is happening is as it needs to happen. All that is happening is as it needs to happen. Guru Nanak says something similar. Hukam hai andar sabko bar hukam na koi. There's this word called hukam, the Tao, the way things are, suchness. You can't say it's that because it's always changing. It's fluid. So they say it's that, suchness. I can just experience and taste it, and I can know it through that, but I can never describe it. Right? All of us are embedded in this. We're embedded. So to prove yourself that you're embedded, can you take yourself out of this moment in any way? No. Even when you're dead, you're still going to be in the moment of now. When were you born? And you say, well, on such and such day. No. What time was it? When will you die? What time will it be? It will always be now. It will always be now. You cannot escape from it, my friends. None of us can. We're embedded in it. We are made of the now. It's not that we're separate from it. We're kind of tapestry of it. We're embedded in it. We are threaded in it. The now is the string, and you and I are the little pearls on that string. Can't be out of it. Can't be out of it. This now is infinite. It's ever present and it's infinite. Imagine, just look up in night and try and fathom the size of existence. And if that's too much, pick up an ant and look at it with care and look at the intelligence in it. Look at the life that flows through it. And you will realize the whole picture is very big. And therefore, you and I suggesting this is right and this is wrong is simply like someone who comes across a paragraph in a novel of thousands of pages and then on that paragraph determines the story. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. So Lao Tzu explains this, allows you to understand that, look, the cause of your suffering is what? It's you. You create your own dramas. You get embodied and embroiled in the drama, and then you're in pain. Then you're in suffering. What does suffering mean? How would you define book? How would you define? Because there's really only three states of being: suffering, absence of suffering, and this middle state called anand, non-duality. Okay? Most of us are trained to run away from suffering, to run towards non-suffering. We're always trying to make our life happier. What are we saying? It ain't enough. That's what it is. The disease of the Western worldview is the word progress. The word progress says it ain't enough. There's got to be more. We've got to do more in this time. Just look around us. More medicines, more illnesses. Everything computerized, no one has any time. Look at the paradox. How fast are we today? And you wake up one day and you feel, where did my life go? What was I doing? Just farmed like animals and don't realize that. Why? Because no one gives you the opportunity to learn, to realize that's all it is. It's not like you're stupid and I'm stupid. No, on the contrary. We're the only beings at this moment on this planet that have the ability to know ourselves. A cow's a cow. It doesn't know it's a cow. You are you, but as you look within yourself, you begin to realize you ain't the body. You ain't the mind. You're not the emotions. What are you? You begin to settle in this space, which tends to have a few qualities: timeless, still, silent, peaceful, calm. And when you're in that space, everything around you is still moving. So everything is as it needs to be. As hard as it to swallow, but we don't resign to it. So there are two ways to approach this. One way is resignation. Can't do anything. Such is life. No. We've got to befriend the moment. Suffering is suffering. Happiness is happiness. But neither of the two you can stop. Each one has the seeds of the other. So you buy a beautiful new car or you have a beautiful new phone and someone comes and wrecks it. The very thing that gave you happiness is now giving you pain. And then someone goes and repairs it for you. And the very thing that brought you pain now gives you happiness. Everything, the seeds of happiness and the seeds of suffering are embedded. It's two sides of the same coin. So When we are trained to consider one good and one bad, that becomes the source of our problem. The source of our problem is that we consider one to be better than the other. Birth is good, that is bad. How does that work? If birth is good, then why should death be any different than birth? The way we are taught. Success is good, failure is bad. Well, how are you going to learn if you don't fail? Suffering is bad, non suffering is good. How will you come to non suffering without suffering? How? Illness is bad, health is good. How will you know how to maintain health unless you've been ill? You cannot run away. You, me, everyone, we're embedded. We're embedded in this duality. Dukh sukh, health, illness, birth, death. The constant is awareness. The constant is life. Even now, there are debates about assisted suicide, whatever you want to call it, but that's what it is. Yet no understanding of consciousness. No understanding. The blind leading the blind. And we think, and this is a big mistake in life to learn, or the ignorance, that you think you can escape suffering. You think you can escape it. You think by me taking, let's just give you a simple example. I've got a pain in my back, knocking out a few painkillers will get rid of that suffering. No, it will suppress the pain only for a while until it comes back for what it is. The same is true if you think you can escape life because you can escape suffering. And that changes the whole worldview. Why are you not suffering? Why are you not in Gaza? What makes you so different? Ask yourself those questions, and you will realize that there's a connection between you, who you are, what you are, and those around you. This moment of mind will create the next moment of mind. Where your mind is at the last moment will determine your next steps. Whatever you're attached to creates your karmic space. Attached to your family, come back there. Attached to your money, you might come back as a guard dog. Who knows? But you don't escape, my friends. Just like in life, you can't run away from suffering. Have to see it for what it is. And what you will realize is all suffering is you wanting things to be different. If you're in suffering, you're in suffering. It is what it is. It ain't going to last because nothing lasts. Why should your pain last forever? Everything changes at every moment. But if you hold on, the more you try to run away from suffering, is the more you're trying not to think about pink monkeys. And the moment you try not to think about pink monkeys, they're there. Same is with suffering. The more you try and run away from it, the more it's there. Sit. What can you do? What can your thoughts and your emotional states do if you don't join into them? It's like watching a movie. Watch it for what it is, entertainment. Don't get so consumed by it that if the lead actor dies, that you begin to grieve for the rest of your life. Thoughts will change. Emotions will change. All you and I need to learn is not to quieten the mind. It can't be quietened. You need to step back from it. And to step back from it, you have to first see it for what it is. And this is where your meditation practice comes in. Sitting with your breath, start to notice what's going on. Come back, come back. And every so often, you will touch this space of stillness. Every so often. And soon enough, it becomes where you are. Why? Because that's who you are. You're not different from anything else. All this other stuff, just nonsense. Collateral stuff, just collected stuff. It's just commentary. Nothing to do with who and what you are. And who and what you are has to be learned by transcending thoughts, body, and moving into the moment of experience, which is always now. Always now. And if you sit in the now, dukkha comes and goes. When you stop identifying one as good and one as bad, see, this is a problem. We think happiness is good and we think suffering is bad. It's your perception that's creating the problem. See them both as clouds. They come and they change, they come and they change. And if you can learn to do that, I can tell you 90% of suffering disappears. Why? Because all of it's created within ourselves. How? Because we get attached to things. We get attached to our pain. In the Sufi tradition, right? There's a beautiful quote. I think it's by Rumi. He says, all of us have this bundle of suffering. All of us, right? From the moment we were born to this day, we have this suffering. And every day we bring it out and we pray to it. And then we put it away. It's become our object of pilgrimage. We meet one another and we speak about what's wrong with us. How often do we say, hey, I've had the best time in my life, looking good, da 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 da? We don't tend to pick up the things that are normally those that put us onto a bit of a down. People like to exchange their pain. But if I asked each one of you to put your pain and your suffering in a bucket, and we put all the buckets here with your names on, and I said, all you need to do is change your bucket for someone else's. How many of us will choose someone else's bucket? You understand? We are familiar with the shoe that pinches us. We are familiar with it. Yeah? Okay, enough of my rambling. Okay, so emphasis on the present moment. So eyes are closed, mouth is closed. And pull your shoulders back. And pull your chin in. Very deliberate. And as you draw your breath in, you bring your focus to yourself as best as you can. You begin to notice your posture. You bring your focus to your inner space. What's going on in you? And see if you can give your emotional space a way of defining. So if you feel settled, how settled do you feel? Really settled or a little bit? And if you feel unsettled, how unsettled do you feel? A little bit or a lot? And if your mind is it racing very fast or just interrupting you? Okay, now bring your focus top of your head. You're going to imagine there's a hula hoop, and as it begins to descend down, it begins to scan your body. Notice the ground or the seat that you're on, and allow yourself to relax, to soften. Allow yourself to be held. So we're going to look at two things: location, here and the now. So notice the ground beneath you. Notice the environment that surrounds you. Locating yourself in the here and now. And as you bring your focus beneath your nose, notice that the breath that enters your body right this moment is happening in the moment of now. The ground beneath you holds you. The air, the space surrounds you. And you can only be where you are. Nor can you move a minute forward, nor you can move a minute back. So try and allow yourself to be present in the now. Gently bring your focus to the seat you're on and begin to notice the sensations in your body where you make contact. And then you gently bring this awareness up, noticing your hips. And then you allow this awareness to move down your thighs towards your knees. Slowly, slowly looking at the sensations within our body. And then from your knees, you move down towards your ankles, scanning the back and the front of your legs. Notice your feet. Notice the soles of your feet. Bringing your focus back to the seat you're on. Once again, allow yourself to be held. Bringing yourself to this moment, bringing yourself in the location, here and now. Can't be anywhere else. Noticing that the back is straight and upright. And then as you breathe in, you allow this awareness to move up towards your middle back. Up towards your shoulder blades. And then gently holding your focus at your shoulders, allowing them to soften if they can. And then from your shoulders, you allow this awareness to move down to your elbows. From our elbows, we move down to our wrists. Notice the palms of your hands. And then notice the fingers. Next breath in, bring your focus towards your eyes. Recognizing awareness for what it is. Notice that you have awareness perhaps of darkness, the back of your eyelids, and this awareness cannot be switched off, but can be focused from one place to another. As you breathe out, you allow your eyes to soften, and bringing your focus towards your lips as you breathe in. Notice the upper lip. Notice your lower lip. And then gently moving your focus within your mouth, the roof of your mouth, inside cheeks. Notice your jaw. Allow it to soften. Allow your tongue to soften. And then as you breathe out, you allow your face to soften. Next breath in, bring your focus back to your body as best as you can. And we're going to notice if there's anything in the body, a pain, a tightness, an itch, an ache, that draws your focus. And then gently bring your focus just beneath your nose. And you begin to watch your breath. Notice there's an in-breath and there's an out-breath. Notice that the breath is breathing by itself. So hold your focus at your breath, just beneath your nose. Notice the in-breath has a start, a middle, and an end. The out-breath has a start, a middle, and an end. Notice how the breath flows by itself. The Tao, flowing in life. Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. On your next breath in, allow this awareness to move within yourself. So now you're going to notice how you're feeling and where your mind is. Notice if there's any thinking thoughts in your mind at the moment. And then gently bring your focus to your chest. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. And notice how the chest changes as the breath moves in and the breath moves out. Notice the subtle changes around your ribs. Now, on your next breath in, see if you can focus yourself at your heart, bringing your focus a bit deeper, moving your awareness as deep as you can, right where your heart is. And try and hold your focus there. And as you hold your focus there, begin to notice how you're actually feeling. Behind the thoughts, behind the sensations, right at your heart. Do you feel settled or do you feel unsettled? Right this moment. Not what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Right this moment. Do you feel peaceful or do you feel irritated? On your next breath out, you're going to open your awareness to all the sounds around you. Simply begin to listen. You're not trying to work any sound out. You're allowing the sounds that are around you to come to you. And then use your awareness following this sound into the silence. Gently bring your focus beneath your nose and once again begin to watch your breath. Notice how the breath is constantly moving. Start, middle, end, start, middle, end. Notice while the breath is moving, you yourself are still. Stay with your breath. Now gently bring your focus to the sound of your breath. Try and listen to the in breath, try and listen to the out breath. Right this moment, that's all you need to do. Simply listen to your breath. Once again, through listening, you become present. Allowing each breath out, each breath in to move you deeper and deeper into this moment. Listening as intently as you can. Stay with your breath. On your next breath out, once again open your focus to all the sounds around you, including the sound of your breath. Listening. And as you listen to all that's around you, noticing everything has a start, a middle, and an end. Just like this bell. Just as this silence has a start, middle, and end, so has this bell. Gently bring your focus beneath your nose, sitting with your breath in silence. Notice the qualities present in your experience. Is there an absence of time? Notice the presence of peace, the presence of silence, the presence of stillness. On your next breath out, expand your awareness to include your whole body again. Notice if there's any discomfort anywhere. Could be a pain, an ache, a tightness, an itch. Then again, bringing your focus back to the seat you're on. Notice how well you're held in place, embedded in the moment of now, safe, supported. Sensations where your body makes contact with your seat. Use that as an anchor to bring your focus up to your hips, gently moving down your thighs towards your knees, allowing this awareness to embody, allowing embodiment, becoming aware of the body itself. From our knees, we move down to the ankles, scanning the back of our legs, scanning the front of our legs. Notice your feet and then getting to the soles of your feet. And you want to hold your focus there for a short while. Coming back to your seat, notice the back is straight, upright, shoulders, arms, hands are comfortable. Eyes are still closed, mouth is still closed, and your face is relaxed. Bringing your focus back to your breath. And now, as the breath moves in, you can sense your body. As the breath moves out, you can sense your body. Breathing in, you feel calm. Breathing out, you feel calm. Taking a moment to acknowledge your experience. Bringing the intention to smile. Knowing that everything is as it needs to be. Allowing yourself to be aligned with existence. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw slow, deep breaths in, and in your own good time, gently opening your eyes. Take your time.